Disclaimer: English is not my native language, so I apologize in advance for any mispronunciation and my thick accent. I hope you can bear with me as I try to do my best in spreading the message given to me by the Ruach HaKodesh. Is it possible to keep all the commandments of the Torah? Let it be stated that Yeshua HaMashiach saved us from our sins by grace through faith alone, not by the works of the law. This video is only to prove how we can show Elohim we love him by keeping all of his commandments, which is the sole purpose of our salvation. Ephesians 2:8-10. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourself, it is the gift of Yahweh, not of works, lest any man should boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Yeshua HaMashiach unto good works, which Yahweh hath before ordained that we should walk in them. Is it possible to keep all the commandments of the Torah? Do you want the quick answer? Yes, you can keep all of the Torah. If you are one of those people who say that only Yeshua could keep all of the Torah, then how do you explain this? Luke 1:6. And they were both righteous before Elohim, blamelessly walking in all of the commands and righteousness of Yahweh. The idea that the commandments are hard is not only wrong, but it contradicts Yahweh. Deuteronomy 30:11. For this mitzvah that I am commanding you today is not too difficult for you, nor is it far off. The Father wants us to keep his commandments, not because he hates us so much that he wants us to be in bondage to a law, but because he loves us. Deuteronomy 5. Oh, that they had such a heart in them to fear me and to guard my commands always, so that it might be well with them and with their children forever. It is because of our carnal nature that people have never liked to be told what to do. A clear example of that is when we buy an electrical appliance and turn it on. The first thing most people do is do away with the instruction manual because we consider ourselves to be smart enough to get the device working. The only way we can use the manual is if we are really lost, and that is if we still have it and it's not in the trash. In the same way, Torah is our instruction manual. Please note that I did not say Torah is the law, because Torah is the instruction in justice that Adonai has given his people. It is the teachings that a father gives his children on all aspects of life. Deuteronomy 6:5. And you shall love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, with all your being, and with all your might. And these words, instructions, Torah, which I am commanding you today, shall be in your heart. I will give you the proof that you can keep all of the commandments. I studied in law school. My first day of class, I was told this: the study of law is the set of positive legal rules which oversee the individual's external conduct in society. That means that the law studies how the human behaves when he or she is with other people. Wherever it is that two people are, the law is there too. It's a born characteristic of the human being. If there wasn't rules, then we would be all going against the nature that Yahweh gave us. If you get offended when someone issues a set of rules to a community you are part of, then you live in the flesh. Romans 8:7. For the mindset of the flesh is hostile towards Yahweh, for it does not submit itself to the law of Elohim, for it cannot. So those who are in the flesh cannot please Elohim. If you can't abide by the rules, then you will never understand Torah, because Torah is Yahweh's law. It's his constitution, the set of divine rules written by Yahweh's finger that oversee not only the external but internal conduct of every person in their relationships with Yahweh and everyone else. And can I tell you the most surprising thing, and the thing which people who oppose Torah have never understood? Even if you don't do all the commandments, you can anyways be keeping all of the Torah. In a nation's set of rules, there are many types of rules for all aspects of the life of said country. Then, unless you perform in one of those environments, then the laws that rule those environments won't apply to you. And that doesn't mean you are not keeping all of the law of that country. Every nation has a constitution from which all the other disciplines of law derive. You are called to keep what the constitution of your country states, and it will be that very same constitution who will say when you are in any of the specific genres of law. In that same way, the Torah is the constitution of Elohim's people, but from it all the other laws derive, namely laws for priesthood, Levites, kings, if there is a temple, for the women, for men, for workers, for people living in Israel, for landowners, and so on. If you are not a priest, then you are not commanded to keep the laws that are for priests. That goes for any other aspect mentioned before. So anyone who says you have to keep all the 613 commandments, not only does he doesn't know that that list is not biblical, but he also has no idea on how law works. Did you know that Yeshua kept all the Torah, but did not practice all the commandments? That's obvious because he wasn't a woman, so the commandments for women weren't for him. And I am not trying to find a loophole so I don't have to keep all the commandments. I'm just trying to explain why is it that Yahweh says that the Torah is easy to obey. If then you leave aside all the commandments made for certain people, professions, or moments in time, for example that the temple is in function, then we are left with a pretty simple list of general commandments for all Israel, Jew and Gentiles, that we are called to keep, love, and obey. The commandments for every Israelite, natural and grafted in are: number 1, the 10 commandments from Exodus 20. Number 2, the dietary laws from Leviticus 11. And number 3, the Moedim from Leviticus 23. Matthew 22:37 says, "And Yeshua said to him, You shall love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your mind. This is the first and great command. And the second is like it, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commands hang all the Torah and the prophets." Yeshua is making a direct quote from Deuteronomy 6:5. And when he says that from those two commandments hangs all the Torah and the prophets, he is not saying that the Torah is done away with. Yeshua is telling us the categories of the commandments of the Torah. Number 1, the ones that regulate our relationship with Elohim, 1 through 4. And number 2, the ones that regulate our relationship with our neighbor, 5 through 10. Lastly, there is something special about the 10 commandments. If you keep one of those, then you automatically are keeping all the others that derive from that one. For example, "You shall not commit adultery" is a commandment that if you don't break it, then all the other rules about not laying with your father's brother or neighbor's woman won't apply to you. So let's show Yahweh our love obeying his instructions in goodwill. Whoever despises his commandments is not his son or daughter. Hebrews 12. It is for discipline that you endure. Yahweh is treating you as sons. For what son does a father not discipline? But if you are without discipline, something all have come to share, then you are illegitimate and not sons.